Hola, everybody, and welcome to Chats con Sabor. I am here. Sorry, scratch that. Renew.
Blooper number one.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Chats con Sabor. I'm one of your hosts, Joanna, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Miss Yvette.
Hello.
And Yvette has our hot topic of the day.
I do. Today we are going to be talking about signs that he is losing interest. Bum, bum, bum. So let's jump right into it, yes?
Yes, I like the bum bum bum. That was
Bum,
better.
bum, bum. Yeah. Bum, 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 and it is spicy.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Spicy.
Okay, so I have here our first little topic. It says things that men do when they are no longer interested or have their sights on someone else. So I want to go, there's a few of them. And I kind of want to, like we always do, say one and then just kind of discuss and then see where we're at with that, if we've had any experiences in that.
Hit me with your best shot, sister.
Okay. All right, here we go. The first one, it says less communication. Texts or calls are less, and then the conversation seems shorter or less meaningful.
True.
Okay. So this has happened to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, especially when you're first dating.
Yeah.
Like when you're out on those apps and you're trying to figure things out with some of these jokers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, 2 weeks are then all of a sudden they found a greener pasture and then it becomes less and less. But plot twist, when the grass is not greener on the other side, guess who starts texting right away? So yeah, I absolutely think it's true. The communication stops. It stops very slowly, and then it's non-existent.
Non-existent, yeah. I agree. I agree with that. I definitely have gone through that. I kind of feel though. I kind of feel though that it's almost like the norm. It's almost a norm when in the dating scene, especially the online dating scene, where you don't know people or they don't know you, so they're not really fully invested in the communication or to keep up. I feel like it's easier, so much easier. We've said this before, we talk about online dating, where it's so much easier for them to just flip the switch and something else catches their attention. And then when
there's so many options.
Way too many options, I feel, for men and women.
Yeah.
Men and women. Yeah. I think girls are the same way. I have to sneeze. I felt like I did anyway. Oh, I think it's there.
Bless you.
Thank you. False alarm. But how about in long-term relationships? Has that ever happened to you where you've been with somebody and then all of a sudden maybe it fizzles out a little bit and then they start, again, the less, and not necessarily when you're living together, because obviously you got to talk to each other when you're living together.
Yeah.
But like in an early or a long-term relationship, but early
I think
stages?
it does. I think we've discussed this before. Like life starts lifing, work, kids, everything just starts, and it's like you kind of lose that connection in a way. You're like, when I get home, I'll talk to them, or they know I'm at work, or whatever. But yeah, I agree. I think it does stop, and that is no bueno.
No, it's not. I think also something to look out for is when the communication changes. Like you're sitting on the couch together, but yet he's on his phone and you're on your phone and, and everybody's doing their own thing, which we've talked about before, where we know that downtime is okay, but if it's happening every single time and there's no communication anymore or no effort to put in real communication within the relationship, I think that's a red flag. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Communication is just so important. Even though there are some couples that just enjoy the fact that they're in a room together.
Yes.
And, you know, they're not saying much,
Yeah.
but your feet are being rubbed, or you're, you know, caressing your partner's, you know, head, and you're just watching a movie, you know, stuff like that. So it can go either way. I guess it depends on the people, you know.
Yeah.
Some people love to talk.
Yeah.
Some people are super quiet.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. And I kind of feel like opposites always attract. I will say, in my marriage, he was more of a talker than I was, but he did have his moments when he would go silent, you know, and I would love that. Like, that was just my, because I don't have to be on, you know. Yeah. But for the most part, he was very cognizant of the fact that he wanted to make sure that I felt like he wasn't ignoring me or something, you know. So I did appreciate that. But again, I am the type of person that likes to sit in silence. And the rubbing of the feet and, you know, hands. I mean, just knowing we're there together isn't enough for me.
Yeah.
But
you still have that connection, that affection. Now, if you're on two separate sides of the couch and you're on your phone and he's on, then there's a problem.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah. And if it's happening more frequent than not, you know, then there's an issue there. Then, you know, it should be addressed before it leads to something else. Okay, so let me see. The second one here in this little subtopic, things men do when they're no longer interested or have their sights on someone else. They are unavailable or distant. Suddenly they have less time to spend with you. They're always busy. Mm-hmm. I think this is more like, or they're talking about here more of the early stages when you're talking to somebody or you're just getting to know somebody. Yeah, if you are a pen pal to somebody, I feel, then that's not a good sign. If all they do is want to text or talk on the phone, but they never actually commit to making plans with you or do make plans with you, and then, you know, they're busy doing something else, you know, all of a sudden, you should just walk away.
Red flag.
Super red flag. Has that ever happened to you, though, where all of a sudden they're just busy, they don't have time for you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it's so funny because the dating scene is just so hard. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like the more you look at it and you think about it, it's like, wow, it's so hard because not too many people want to communicate anymore. Mm-mm. They think you can read their minds and know what it is they want and how to appease them in what they want, you know?
Right.
So, I don't know. Maybe it's me getting old and becoming grumpy that I'm just like, what is wrong with people nowadays?
Well, and there's something to be said for honesty. Like some people will say, like me, I'll throw myself in that mix. I will tell people like, communication is very important to me. You know, if we're not communicating or we're not actually talking, not just, hey, good morning, what are you doing? Okay. That's what you're sending me like every single day, that's your way of starting the conversation. Nah, give me more. I want something more than surface level, because again, I'm not your pen pal. And if that's what we're going to be, well then move on, you know? So I tell people that I like communication and stuff, but it's got to be genuine and actually communication with substance. Because
and effort.
Yes, a lot of effort. Because if you're just WYDing me, then yeah. 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to. If you've done it like once in a while, okay, I might respond, and maybe we are long time talkers or texters. But if you're trying to get my attention just by WYD, how old are you, first of all?
I was gonna say, are we teenagers?
Jesus. But like I said, there's something to be said with saying that. So if you're not a communicator, if you say, you know what, I really don't like texting, but I'll jump on a call with you, and I might text you and say, hey, you free? You know, and yeah, I'm free, you know, or no, I'm busy. And then we'll hop on a call and talk for half an hour, and that's cool too. But that doesn't necessarily mean though that the other person has to accept that though. I'm a communicator. I like to receive text messages and phone calls. I want that. You may not be that type of person. That doesn't mean that I have to accept you for that. And that doesn't mean that you have to accept me. either. You may want to move on and talk to somebody who's actually going to be okay with bare minimum effort.
And she is being honest.
Yeah.
She has had these conversations with men, and she's made it clear they're on board until they're not. Yes. Because a lot of people think because you want to communicate, you're being needy.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a difference.
A huge difference, because especially the men that I've talked to, they should know. There's no way in hell that I'm needy. No way in hell. No way in hell, because I'm not sitting there, oh my God, like I just don't do the whole, I'm just not. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to say I'm just not needy. So yeah, but communication, definitely. I do need that.
She doesn't need a lot of it.
I don't need a lot of talking. It's the mindfulness, though. It's the substance. That's what I'm saying. Like, just because you're texting me every morning, good morning. Well, okay. I mean, that's what I'm going to text back. Now, you start a conversation. How's your day going so far? I did this morning. I thought of you here. And I don't expect constant communication either. You don't have to text me just to fill in the I was going to say the void,
box.
But yeah. You don't have to fill the space. I need communication that has substance. Yeah. Genuine and has substance. Yeah. So when you are unavailable or distant, guess what I'm going to do? Bye-bye.
Yeah. Give the same energy that somebody's giving you, baby.
Exactly. Match that energy. Wild. Okay. The next one is guarding his phone, keeping it face down, or taking messages and calls in private.
Biggest pet peeve of my life is when a man puts his phone face down. You know why? Or a woman, you're hiding something.
Yep. I know some people will say...
Tell me different.
I know some people will say, I do that because it's a distraction. If it's facing up, then I can see when my phone is going off. Even if I have it on silent, I can see and so they'll do it facing down. I get that. Oh, how about just put your phone in your purse or your pocket,
You see I call bullshit on that. Look, the bottom line is, if you're with somebody, your phone is not going to be your biggest priority.
Right.
Okay?
Especially on a date. We're talking about dating. Yeah.
Or in a relationship. If you're in a long-term relationship. Like, there's times I'll walk away from my phone and I'm just sitting there talking to my significant other. And it's like we don't even look at our phones. And we're just sitting there chatting or playing around or goofing off. Whatever it may be. When we're on our bikes, we don't look at our phones. Like, I am just too safety oriented for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I'm on my bike, you're not hearing from me. Period. Point blank.
Yeah.
But it's a respect thing for me. If you know that your phone bothers you, put it away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Focus on who you're with. But if it's something that you feel as though you don't have to do, then don't do it. But, you're going to run into a risk where someone is going to question you on the why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's super important especially when you're dating. Now, I kind of want to say that I understand the whole, it's a distraction if you're on a date on the early stages, but that's why I keep my phone in my purse. I will let people know, whoever, like if I'm on a date and I tell Joe, okay, this is where I'm going to be, I'll text you when I get there. And I get there and I meet him and I feel comfortable. I say, I'm going to text my friend real quick just to let her know I'm here. And then I put my phone away. And that's that. Communication, again.
Yeah.
Communication, like we have to be able to use our words. We are adults, most of us. Use our words and say why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, and I get it. That some people are easily distracted with their phones because nowadays we live on our phones.
Yeah.
So some bad habits are hard to kick, but honestly, I really think that the face down phone thing is is hiding something
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yep. Especially if you're in a relationship and he never used to, or she never used to do that, and all of a sudden they start doing that. I think that right there is more of a red flag than if ever since you've known them, they've always put their face down. You know what I mean? Next one is avoiding future plans. So they stop making plans or stop talking about the future with you and making plans with you. And they won't commit to plans in the distant future. Like say, oh yeah, next year we're going to take a trip, da 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 da. And they start like, well, yeah, we'll talk about that when it gets here. You know, like that type of thing. So do you think that's a red flag?
Yeah, it's someone who's one, either not ready for that type of commitment, and they are being unclear with their feelings towards you.
Right.
Or they have somebody else in their lives that they will take that trip with. I think I saw a reel the other day about women nowadays pressuring men on getting married, and the pressure and the pressure and the pressure. And men are usually okay with things as is unless they're, you know, really religious and have a strong belief in marriage. But I think women want the huge wedding, the dress, you know, and all that stuff. So they start pressuring, especially when someone's been with somebody for like 7 years.
Yeah.
They're like, no ring, no wedding plans. To me, 7 years being with somebody and there's no plans of the future.
Yeah.
Honey, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah. I think, though, that it's also important to make sure that you talk about that kind of stuff up front.
Oh, yeah.
And people say, so I watched a reel, too, and I'm probably going to bring this up during one of our dating episodes, because I know I have it saved. The guy was saying women are so afraid of, like, bringing up their intentions and their wants and their desires from the very beginning. And sometimes he said it's actually appropriate to talk about that stuff on first dates, because then you rule out whoever is not wanting any of that.
Yeah.
And then you don't, you know, you're not wasting any more time. 7 years, that's a lot of time to waste.
I'm telling you.
So if you don't do it on the first date, at least do it within the first 6 months of you guys, you know, dating, because if you don't have the same goals in life, relationship goals, then why spend another 6 months, a year, 2, 3, 5, 7 with somebody who you're not aligned with? That doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, I feel him on that. Okay. Changes in affection, either physically or emotionally. So maybe they don't want to have sex anymore. Maybe they're not touching you as much. They don't want to hug you or kiss you as much, or they do the whole, you know, when you go up to kiss them, they're like, oh yeah, oh my God, that pecking shit. Like, God, if you're gonna just peck me like that, then just don't even try to kiss me. Like,
well, some people you have to take into consideration. Now I'm being the lone wolf here. So some people are just not affectionate people. But that's something else you need to know from the beginning.
Exactly.
If you're super affectionate and you need that kind of attention, and the person you're dating cannot give you that kind of attention, then you need to rethink the relationship or the date. Like, this person's not for you.
yeah.
I mean, opposites do attract sometimes, and sometimes people like mold their self into that person that you mold them into that person that you want. They become a little bit more affectionate. Maybe they had some childhood trauma or something like that, and now they feel safe with you and they can, you know, give you that. But
Yeah.
you're not going to know that unless you're very clear, because some guys will tell you, I'm not super affectionate. Some women will tell you, I'm not very affectionate. So if that person is not for you, kick rocks.
Sayonara. Yeah, I agree. And then also, sometimes a conversation has to be had though too, because sometimes it turns into that. So maybe they were super affectionate at the beginning of your relationship, and they were lovey-dovey, and they did like to rub your hair at night or rub your arms, to put you to sleep and stuff. And all of a sudden, I'm tired of that. Like, we've been together for 20 years. I don't want to do that anymore.
Are they tired of that, or are they tired of you?
Well, again, a conversation has to be had. Communication.
That is the question.
Like, hey, I remember when you used to this, or when we used to blah, 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 whatever it is, I mean, when we used to spoon, and then all of a sudden, I'll tell you, for me, my ex-husband is like a furnace, and I run pretty hot myself too. So
me too.
It was great that we could like have the fans on all the time and the air conditioner and all that stuff. But then touching, like, stop touching me, because it's like, and I did get to that point, but also because there was already like built up resentment and stuff like that, from outside the bedroom. Again, communication and just knowing, like when, like, it's not just that we've outgrown the affection, but it's actual like a change in the affection,
Yeah. I am affectionate, and sometimes with me it's what I have going on at that moment, like the stressors of life or whatever it may be, kind of changes my my mood on how much affection I'm going to give or how much affection I want to take in.
Right.
So because there's things that I want to deal with. It could be I had a stressful day at work, and then I just because I too like being alone, and I love my space. So sometimes when I'm in that mood, I'm less affectionate. This is where my head is at right now. So it doesn't feel like it's me being a bitch. It has everything to do with me going through what I'm going through in my head. Again, I think we've said this a million times. Communication is key.
Yeah. 1,000%. Having the proper communication actually can avoid a lot of conflict, unnecessary drama and conflict in your relationship. Like, okay, you know what? I'm tired. But again, when that starts to become the constant and the norm, then there's an issue.
Yeah.
When that wasn't before, because now you're changing the game on your significant other.
Yep.
So, yeah. Okay, so the next one is inconsistent behavior. So 1 minute they're super interested, and then the next minute they're super distant. So that whole hot and cold thing. What do you think about that one?
I don't like the hot and cold. I don't play that game.
Yeah, like, just show me who you are.
Yeah.
From the get-go. And don't change that shit on me, because I will call you out on your bullshit.
Amen, sister.
I'm sorry, but when, like you said, sometimes, and then we're talking about early stages of dating or talking, sometimes they find somebody else and they're like, oh, let me try with this other person, because the brand new toy, shiny new thing comes in, cuter, prettier, maybe she's funnier, I don't know, maybe she sends you nudes, whatever it is, that catches your attention, and then all of a sudden,
more exciting.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden that goes away. So now you've love bombed me, and then you completely took your affections and attention away, and then you try to come back again and try to be all lovey-dovey again. So what this is saying is more of like, that's what they'll do when there's somebody else. So whether it's the early dating stages, or you've been in a relationship for quite a while, and then all of a sudden they start doing this. I mean, I feel like those are just things to keep in the back of your mind.
Oh yeah. I mean, those are signs. And we get so wrapped up, men and women both, we get so wrapped up in wanting this person and wanting things to work that we stop looking out for those signs, for those red flags. Those people communicate with you with their actions.
Non-verbal communication.
Yeah, you have to keep an eye out for that, so you know whether that person's worth your time or not. You know.
I agree. Agree. The next one is they are more defensive, unusually defensive or dismissive. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, because they're lying. They have something to hide.
So when you're asking them a question And it's a seemingly innocent question. Then all of a sudden they're like, how dare you? How dare you ask me that? How dare you question my integrity or my loyalty or whatever? How dare you question how I got to the store? Well, you don't have a car. So.
Well, I followed you on 360 and I found
Oh my
and
God.
I found that you went to the Quick Trip instead of going to the Shell station.
Yeah, yeah. And so I'm going to give a little story here because you brought something up. In a past relationship, I used to say, don't lie to me. Not even white lies. Lies are lies. White lies, I don't know. Some man probably made that shit up, that term up, because, you know, it doesn't mean anything, whatever. You know, it's not going to hurt nobody, so those are okay. No. And I used to say...
I feel as though it was a woman, not a man. But carry on.
Maybe. But for me, it's... Again, this whole thing. If you tell me I'm gonna go to Target, and then you end up going to freaking Neiman Marcus. I mean, I'm using a complete.
That's like one extreme.
Exactly, but this is what I'm saying. Like, okay, why didn't you tell me you were going there?
Yeah.
You know, why didn't you just say you were going there instead of telling me you were going to go to Target and then you go and spend $500 versus $200?
That's because the sales lady is hot.
But I'm just saying, like. That's a lie. It's a lie.
No,
I don't care
what
how
you're
you want to
saying.
spin it. A white lie. Who cares? It's my money. I didn't spend your money. No, but you weren't honest about what you were doing. So what does that mean then? Then you could actually be lying and being dishonest about other things as well. You're losing integrity. You know what I mean? Because you're not being upfront with me. I might not like what you say, like that you're going to go to Neiman Marcus, but...
At least I know.
But at least I know you're going there. Yeah, at least I know ahead of time. Okay, fine, you know? Or, yeah, I've got a late night meeting. And then I see a receipt on the credit card for freaking dinner and drinks at some, you know, high-end bar. Oh, and then I approach you and you're like, oh, well, it's because clients. Really? Well, how come you didn't tell me? You see what I'm saying?
Credit cards, my friend. Corporate credit cards.
If you're trying to hide shit, yes. But... I'm just saying, it's things like that. It's the little white lies that create this insecurity, I guess, within the relationship.
No, I agree. I totally agree with you. I'm just making light of some of, you know, because these are things that have actually happened to us in real life, you know. So, guys, just be honest.
Just be real.
Have a communicate.
Yeah, seriously.
And if you know that it's going to turn into a lie, just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Just don't do it. How about this one? This is a juicy one. Bringing up other women more often than usual, like casually name dropping. How do you feel about that?
Look, I can do this. I can think about this in two different ways. All right. So back in the day, I worked with a lot of engineers, and I was surrounded by men all the time. So my ex knew all the engineers, and that's truly all I talked to on an everyday basis. There's that. But then there's, my friend from college, and that person becomes a constant staple in any subject that we discuss, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
Or, so-and-so. I always say that when there's a name that is usually consistent in a conversation, it's because they're consistent.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
yeah.
I mean,
and a lot of times it's like a work person, you know, a colleague, and it's like, oh yeah, so-and-so, so-and-so. Now, if I work with this person and he's my partner at work, like we are constantly working on projects together, we're in that situation, we're coworkers where we have to produce. So in that sense, and obviously, and I come home and I tell my significant other, this is how my day was. And then I bring up Joe, where I'm that's the only male name that came to mind. Not my Joe, but JoJo, like Joe. I bring up Joe all the time. And I'm constantly saying, yeah, Joe this and Joe that and Joe and Joe and Joe and Joe and Joe. Okay, well, because I spend 9 hours with Joe. So, and when I come home to talk to you about my day, whether I'm frustrated or whether I'm happy because we got whatever, at least I'm being open and honest about that. But there does come a certain point where, in that sense, I need to be cognizant of the fact that I'm constantly bringing up Joe. You know, I might with Joe constantly bring up, I'm going to say a name, David, my husband David, or my boyfriend David. I might bring him up and, you know, talk to Joe about David because that's my significant other. That is a different story, right? Like, that's just my work colleague. That's just my work friend. Whatever.
And there's no titles, people. No work husband, no work wife.
Yeah.
Keep that shit.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that, but
I think that's where the lines start getting blurred.
Yeah.
With, you know, I mean, and then even to say, oh yeah, he's my friend. But is he really? I mean, does he come over to your house? Do you and David go and hang out with Joe and Joe's wife or girlfriend or boyfriend?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there are, and people do these things very nonchalantly and they don't really put a lot of thought into the consequences that this might be creating, you know. I think it's important to bring up. Yeah, definitely. Bringing up well, in this case it says bringing up other women because it's like what men do, right? But we can use it both ways. You definitely use it. I mean, I just give myself as an example.
Just remember, women are more emotional than men.
Yes, definitely. How about this one? Less effort, meaning no longer prioritizing you or the relationship.
That's a really hard question because I feel like sometimes, again, life happens. Life starts lifing. Things start getting in the way. And sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's unintentional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we start losing ourselves when we have kids we have to raise, when we have a job that requires so much of your attention that you're so stressed out by the time you get home and your thoughts aren't on cooking dinner or spending time with your significant other and all that stuff because you just want to go home, take a shower and go to bed because your life is so overwhelming. I think sometimes we have to, when we start noticing things, because we also notice our patterns shifting and changing, right? Mm-hmm. When we notice those things, I think we should really take a step back, look around us, and be like, okay, something needs to either change or you need to shift something because you cannot forget your partner.
Right.
That is something so important because when you start losing your connection and you start losing yourself is when shit starts popping off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then hurt feelings start. Other people can slip into the cracks and start affecting that relationship because the one's getting attention from somebody else that the other one's not providing. And then you just find yourself in this ugly space. Yeah. And you just lost, what once was a beautiful relationship. Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. I think that if you're at a point where you cannot prioritize your significant other in that relationship, then you should talk about either taking a break or letting the relationship go. If you've gotten to that point where life has been lifing and it has gotten so bad that you now feel like you have to take on that journey or that trauma sometimes on your own, then don't put the other person through it, you know?
They don't deserve it.
They don't deserve it. So, but I think that's a harder decision to make, though. I don't think very many people make that decision because they feel like, well, we're married, so we have to go through everything together. Or we're in this long-term relationship. We've been together for 7 years and, I have to stick it out with him or her, because... and
you don't have to do shit.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just the
Exactly.
bottom line. You don't have to do anything. If you want to fight for your relationship, that's a whole nother story. But you don't have to be with somebody. Mm-hmm. You choose to be with that person. You chose to marry that person. You chose to be with them through sickness and in health and all that jazz.
Yeah.
You know, you chose that. They chose that.
Exactly.
So you have a choice. Mm-hmm. Don't give me that bullshit.
Definitely have a choice. And if you choose to stay, then you can't sit there and complain that they are still not prioritizing you because, listen, they were doing that already, you know, and you chose to stay.
Yep.
So, suck it up, buttercup.
Preach, sister.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and continue on with our slice of advice. And I have it for us today. Let me see. Please hold. All right, our slice of advice for today is never forget 3 types of people in your life. One is those who helped you in difficult times, those who left you in difficult times, and those who put you in difficult times.
Love that. How do we do the Brie Heart?
How does she do it? No, wait.
No.
Oh, man. I did it when she showed me, like, wait. I think it's something like
Brie, we tried.
I tried, daughter. I'm sorry. It's like this, I think. I don't even know.
Your mom can't do
Anyway,
it.
I can't do it. My little fingers, they can't do much. Anyway, I love that. I loved that because, yeah, and you need to remember them for obvious reasons, right? The 3 different types of people.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Helped you, left you, and put you there.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
And JoJo follows those 3, by the way. A lot of people get salty because she follows those 3.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Yvette gets there too. It takes me a little bit longer than it takes Miss JoJo. But once I'm there, I'm like a horse in mud. You can't get me to move.
My sister told me the other day. I'm talking to her and I said, I forget what I said to her, and she was like, I know. You just don't care. They're not a factor. I know. I get it.
So true.
I said, I'm working on it.
Oh my God.
Once I go to therapy, I'm working on it. Damn. Call me out on my shit.
Oh, leave it to sisters, right?
You know?
I guess it's a good thing I don't have any because, damn, they'd be calling me out on a lot of shit. A lot. All right, we're going to move on. Actually, these are more signs that he's losing interest. All right.
You smell.
I know. Sorry. His attitude towards you changes. He's no longer the nice guy that he was in the beginning.
Oh yeah, let's touch on that subject.
Let's unpack that one for a little bit.
Look. Men and women both, because this goes on both sides, okay? Not just men. But people always hide who they are until they lock you down. When they lock you down is when they start showing you who they are.
Yeah.
And at that point, they have you so brainwashed and so manipulated that you no longer you don't see all the red flags. You see, well, he treated me this way, and I feel like he saved me here, and, he treats me like this. But he's not treating you like that anymore.
Yeah, right.
You're holding on to the fake persona he put in front of you and fed you. That person is not that person anymore.
Preach, sister. Yep. Yep.
So you have to be careful, men and women, because a lot of men get caught up in this shit with women. They get everything they want. They pay their bills. They buy them cars. They do this. They do that. And I'm not hating on women. Trust me, I'm not. I've just seen it more often than not now in this day and age. And because they made them dinner, they did their laundry, they did this, they did that, that's all they see. And then as soon as they lock them in, they marry them, they start treating their kids like crap, they start treating them like crap, they no longer do their laundry, they no longer do this. And know who you're getting involved with.
Yeah.
Give it the time to know that person. Give them a year. Give them 2 years. Give them 3 years. Know who you're with before you take on moving in with them or marrying them or getting engaged with them. Because at the end of the day, if that person's not for you, your life is going to be, crazy. Or like my mom says, en cuadritos.
Yeah.
You know? It's going to be just, they're going to make your life so unhappy. And they had already started showing you, they've been throwing crumbs.
Yeah, breadcrumbs.
And you're missing all those crumbs because crumbs were this big. But they're showing you who they are. And they'll start controlling you. They start taking you away from your family, your friends, your children then get involved and they see that this is how you're being treated, so they think they can treat people that way. You really need to take a step back and stop blaming other people when things go south. Yeah. Because you were also part of that relationship.
Oh yeah. You allowed the bad behavior.
Yeah.
And we like to sometimes, a lot of times, women especially, they like to play the victim. They love to pull that victim card and they say, oh my God, he wasn't like this and da-da-da. You're right. You're right to a certain extent because he wanted you to see the side of him but I'm sure there were signs like Miss Jo said. Like there were signs. There were signs in there where maybe they raised their voice at you when they shouldn't have. Maybe like when it was not a big deal. They shut you out. They shut down when they get upset with you and you think, oh, he just needs time to cool off, whatever. Okay, that's fine. But that's a red flag. If they cannot communicate, I understand sometimes we need to take a breath because we don't want to
explode.
Explode at people and stuff. But at the same time, when you completely shut down and you just put this wall and it's almost like they're going to feel my silence, you know what I mean? Type of thing. And it's not necessarily just because you're trying to process. It's because you want to hurt them, you know? So you've seen that, I'm sure,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of different things, like you said. They leave you little breadcrumbs and they leave you clues and ideas as to who they really are. And then once they lock you down, either you're in the relationship or you move in or they isolate you or you get married and then all of a sudden, poof, they do a 180 and their true colors come out, right? And I mean, very few people have actually surprised me that way, but I'm not saying it hasn't ever happened.
I think a lot of people get away from, they think because someone isn't physically abusing you, they're not abusive.
Exactly. Yeah.
But emotional abuse is worse because you carry that with you for the rest of your life. That's where your insecurities come in. That's where your self-doubt comes in. That's where so many things that make you are so broken because of the emotional abuse. I mean, it's just sad that we all have to go through that. And I say we all, for both men and women. Yeah. That we have to experience that in our lifetime.
It would be nice not to.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, some people just, they don't know how to be their true selves, from the get-go. And that people see the real them so that then the other person can make a decision on whether or not they want to continue the relationship or to continue getting to know you. Okay, so this other one says they start arguments with you out of nowhere or get easily annoyed with you. I think we kind of hit it on the other list, but yeah, it's the same thing. Like we were saying, Yeah, fighting with you just to let you know I'm not that interested in you anymore.
Yeah, and sometimes they pick fights so they can go do what they
Whatever
want to
they're gonna
do, so they don't feel guilty of what they're doing.
Because then it's your fault. Well, you got me like this, so
Yeah.
I have to go. Yeah, because over there, nobody's getting mad at me. So,
Yep.
How about they will criticize you in front of others or embarrass you, like in front of your friends, like your friend group or whatever.
That's part of emotional abuse right there. Mm-hmm. I mean, if they're gonna do that, honey, I've heard so many, like, I love all the self-help stuff, reels and stuff that you see on TikTok, on Instagram and all that, and they give for instances, and that's one of them. Like, they're so far along in their relationship that they start making excuses for these people in front of their friends and family.
Right.
Oh, he just had a really rough day at work, and that's why he's acting the way he's acting. No, there's more to that. That means if your friends and family are seeing it for the first time, it's happened many other times, and you've had 1,000 more excuses to justify. But I love him. Do you love him, or are you codependent?
Right.
And you are, what is it? What's the word? You're in love with his potential.
Right.
Potential that you're never going to have. You know, unless he makes a change.
Yep.
Because he
you
loves
marry
himself.
potential and you divorce reality. If you find yourself making excuses for him to your friends, to your family, because of certain behaviors or certain things that they say, you're not in a loving, caring relationship. I'm sorry to tell you. And you probably won't be.
Nope.
Some people can change. Most people don't. I am from the old school way of thinking that we are who we are at our core, and we can react differently in certain situations and change our tune and learn from bad behaviors. But it doesn't necessarily mean that we're changing who we are. We're just changing our behavior.
Yeah. Bad habits.
Yeah. So if people are abusive, it's because they've probably been abused and they haven't worked through that trauma, because hurt people hurt people. We all know this, right?
Yep.
And until they process through that pain, because the hurt happened, the trauma happened, that's never going to go away. But until you process through that actual trauma and the pain that it caused and learn to let go and to forgive yourself, because a lot of it comes from guilt. We hold on to traumas because of guilt and shame. So unless we process through that and actually learn to let it go, then we're going to start treating other people that way, because that's the way it goes. It's a cyclical thing. We're on this wheel of, well, I got hurt, so then I'm going to hurt the next person. And it might not even be a conscious thing that you're doing. But it is going to happen. If you're making excuses for him or her, because women can be that way too. I feel like if a guy's making an excuse though for a woman, then that's really bad. I mean, it's like even worse, because women, we're emotional beings as it is, and we kind of make excuses for men and our children. Oh, little Timmy, little Sally, they had a bad day at school and that's why they're misbehaving this way. No, it's because you haven't put your foot up their ass. You haven't corrected the bad behavior, but you're making excuses to everybody else as to why they're behaving that way, because it's a reflection on you. So you're taking on that responsibility and that shame and that guilt. It's just trauma-based, and it's a cycle. So, yeah. Wow, I went on a tangent on that one. Sorry.
Therapy is important, guys. Don't be ashamed to get help when you need it.
Definitely. Okay, so he no longer asks or cares how you're feeling. So you know that whole saying, like, we're not going to go to bed angry, or, and then all of a sudden you go to bed angry, but that's not how it was before. Like, he didn't let you go to bed angry. You would resolve your issues, or he would apologize, or he felt bad when he saw you crying, and all of a sudden he doesn't feel bad no more when he sees you crying. How do you feel about that?
I think when your significant other stops caring about how you're feeling, then there's no more reasons for you guys to be together.
Yeah.
Period, point blank. Because if he didn't care for you at that moment, whether he was hurt or not, in whatever the circumstances were or situations, then he doesn't love you. He doesn't care for you.
Doesn't want to be with you.
He doesn't want to be with you.
Yeah. I think it's hard, and I think it can work the other way too, because sometimes women get tired. If a man is constantly like, "What was me?" Right? A woman can get tired because we've talked about this before, where we feel the man is supposed to be the rock, right? For that. She should be his soft place to land, but she can't be his punching bag. And if it's constantly him falling on her, I mean, how much can we carry? You know what I'm saying? When we
People
got the
get
kids
tired.
and all this
Yeah.
stuff. So, yeah, people do get tired.
And we have to be understanding too that people get tired.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our friends, we're constantly calling them, we're constantly dumping on them. You know, our friends are meant to be there for us, but at the same time, we have to be there for them, and we can't always be the constant dumpers.
Yeah.
Because eventually that wears on your friend, and it wears on your friendship.
Right.
So.
Right. And it's not just with your friends, it's even with your children, the relationships you have with your adult children. We always tend to be there for them, and getting dumped on and taking on their, you know, situations or their feelings or whatever is going on with our kids. And of course, we're there for our children. We always are. But at the same time, well, who's going to be there for us? You know, I had a conversation with my son the other day, and we were both kind of venting a little bit with each other. But I literally, I had a moment. I was like, it was a long moment, my poor son.
Sometimes we do.
It's a really long moment, and I was just like, I'm just having a really bad day. I don't know why. I woke up that way. I woke up heavy, not grounded, and he was totally there, supportive, and said a lot of things. I was very, very surprised his reaction to me, because he was able to give me solid advice and solid guidance. And I even said something to him. I said, "Oh, the student becomes the teacher."
That's what I was going to say.
I was like, "Oh my God, the student becomes the teacher." And he was like, "Mom, like
We
these are
raised
things."
them well.
He's like, "These are things that I've already known," and you know what? It was a deep conversation, so I'm not going to go into the details. But yeah, anyway, it works that way too, you know. So when you can have that open dialogue and that relationship both ways, it's super important. But if you get tired of somebody, your significant other, and you're not able to be there for them, then I think, again, a conversation needs to be had.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, because then it's not fair to them, you know?
Little side note.
Yeah.
As parents, the one thing that I learned when I was dating and stuff, I would have conversations with my kids, my grown kids, about the dating world and, you know, the stuff that I was going through. I learned that there's certain things you should not tell your kids, because they're going to always protect you, and it can affect any type of relationship they're going to have in the future with this person, if this person becomes your significant other. And this is just generalizing. So what's funny is that how how things have circled, and it's entertaining to hear my son saying stuff about his dating life and all this, and I was like, you know,
You're like, yeah, I was there.
but it was different. Why was it different?
Yeah.
Because I'm older and I have grown kids.
Yeah.
No, it's the same. It's the same shit out there. But yeah, I mean, it's always good to communicate with your kids, but always be mindful of what it is that, you know, you're discussing with them.
Definitely. Especially if they're younger kids, like teenagers, because they're even more impressionable. So then, they're not your friends, you're their parent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? When they become adults, it's a little different. The conversations are a little different. But even still, my kids come to me more than I go to them.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I do vent. I will say that, but it's not like I'm looking to them to solve my problems. You know, it's
they will never be able to solve your problems.
No, yeah. My problems are too deep. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that sometimes they do have some type of light in them. And it's funny because I had a conversation with one of my friends about this today, and we were having a chat about like what we tell our kids, what we don't tell our kids. That's why it popped up when you had mentioned that. So, and I know how private she is, so I know she doesn't go into full detail of what she's saying. But I guess, you know, certain things were said or whatever, and I'm like, why did you say that to them? Why? But anywho, off on a tangent. I went on a tangent on that one. Sorry.
So funny. Okay, I think we touched on this one too. Prioritizes prioritizes time with others over you.
I've had that problem, but I don't have that problem anymore.
I have never really gone through something like that. I mean, in my marriage, yeah, I always came first. I'm like, Yeah, no, I haven't really ever gone through that. But I mean, I've seen other friends of mine when they're dating, not necessarily in long-term relationships, but when they're dating and they're like, he doesn't want to spend time with me. Actually, let me take that back. Just recently, in not a relationship, but just, you know, kind of like a talking stages, I kind of got pushed aside for whatever. And I was just like, okay. But again, that shows me who you are. Mm-hmm. And that makes me move different. So, I mean, I didn't really, if we were in a relationship, that would have never happened.
Just saying.
Just saying. But yeah, no. Okay, so I read something here that, online, of course. And it says that the more a woman complains about the things he isn't doing, the more he doesn't want to do them for her. What do you think about that?
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
I mean, we're talking about signs that he's interested in somebody else, but we've said this in a different episode in season 2 where you have to take responsibility for the stuff that you're not doing or that you are doing in a relationship. So, you know, we have to take responsibility. So if you're constantly nagging at him and constantly telling him what a F up he is because he's not doing X, Y, Z, well, then he's not going to want to do X, Y, Z for you.
Why would he want to do that for you?
Why would he want to? Yeah, that's not going to make him want to do it more.
No.
I mean, if you have an open and honest conversation about something once, he knows now that that bothers you, then he might make changes to how he behaves, right? Again, change the behavior. And he may want to do those kinds of things for you. But if you're constantly nagging at him and you're not sitting here saying, you know what, I noticed, and this is how you make me feel. What am I doing or what am I not doing that you don't feel the need to do this for me? Like, find better ways to communicate. Again, communication.
Not everything has to be a damn argument.
Right.
Shit.
Yeah, not everything. No. Okay, we're going to jump into our what the fuck moment. And Miss Joanna has that.
Oh, I have a lovely one.
It's a good one. I don't know this one.
I didn't let Yvette really know this one because once I play it, this is very much her. But when I was listening to it, I was like, huh? Here we go. It's about trees, y'all. I love trees.
There's a witch belief of you can tell your secrets to the trees, and then if you want to seek revenge on anyone, tell the trees who did you wrong, and they'll take care of it.
Let me tell you, it works.
That was so threatening. I loved it.
Try it out sometime.
I want to try it out.
And there it is.
So when she was telling me that the what the fuck moment was going to be about trees, I said, is it that trees communicate with each other and there's this whole system underground? I forgot what it's called. Myceler?
I don't know.
Anyway, there's this system kind of like mushrooms. They talk, with the roots and stuff underground. They talk to each other and they know when there's predators, when there's one tree gets attacked by like certain bugs, they'll let the other trees, they'll emit like a scent, letting the other trees know.
I knew this would set her off.
Yeah. Trees are amazing, amazing, amazing. And they have been on this earth longer than any of us. So, I mean, even longer than the dinosaurs, you know? So trees are amazing and they are sentient beings. And if you talk to them, they do listen. They do listen.
Well, guess what? If you talk to a tree and you tell them to curse somebody, they're going to do it.
Now I know.
That is my what the fuck moment.
And for me, it's just extra knowledge to put in my back pocket. How about my lovely trees? Thank you for that.
You are welcome.
I love it.
I didn't want to make it gross and I didn't want to make it spooky, so I stuck to that.
I mean, that's a little spooky.
Nah, it's fine.
All right, so we were talking about...
And here he comes again.
I don't even think it's the same guy. That's a different... I don't think that's the white car.
I don't know. Sounds the same to me. No, this is a bike.
Oh, I think you'll like this one. Taste it. It's kind of sweet. It's a Chardonnay. It's sweet, right?
It's disgusting.
It is not disgusting. It's a Chardonnay. But why? It's called... Look at the bottle. It looks like tequila. It's silver.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say silver. You're disgusting. I'm just saying it's just not my cup of tea.
It's
Or my
called-
cup of wine.
It's called Mer Solier, and it's silver, and then it's a Chardonnay. Monterey.
I don't like
County,
Chardonnay.
California.
It's not my thing.
Even though she drinks Chardonnay with me all the
Every
time.
now and again. Look, here's She Always Rosé. Look how pretty
The
this
bottle is
is.
gorgeous. It looks clear here, but it's pink.
Oh, and look,
The bottle is pink.
glass
A glass cork.
cork.
Isn't that crazy? It's a beautiful bottle.
So
Love
pretty.
it. We're keeping it. We're keeping it to just have.
Decoration.
Okay, so we talked about how I just don't understand. I mean, I do understand because I live on this corner.
hate us.
Jesus, like why did they have to be so loud? I just don't understand. Okay, so we talked about how what to look out for, or the signs that men are in either losing interest or they have their sights set somewhere else. Now we
Is there
have
good stuff coming up now?
yes. Now we have tips to keep him interested.
Oh, spicy.
We couldn't just give you the bad stuff. We had to give you the good stuff too. So here we are. First one is keep a little mystery. End conversations first. Now this is for dating. This is when you first meet and you're still in the talking stages, okay? But I mean, it could probably work in long-term relationships. Keep a little mystery. End convos first. Don't reply too quickly. Let him wonder what you're up to. Men like a challenge. What you think? Keeping a little mystery, meaning don't give it all up too fast right away. Like, don't be chasing him and constantly like, oh my God, what are you doing? And, you know?
You know, it's a very interesting question because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Very true.
Because
he's
it
not that into
depends
you-
on the guy.
Well, and if he's not that into you, though, it's not going to work. It's not going to work if he's not that into you. He's just going to fly away. And but that is also a benefit to you, I feel.
And sometimes they'll use that as retaliation to you. Like if you delayed a text message, well, guess what? The next text message he sends you, I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't give a shit.
I don't think it's that much of like playing a game. I think what she's trying to say, because it was a girl, it was on a reel, she was talking about these. I think what she's just trying to say is, don't be the chaser. Let him chase. Don't give it all up too fast. All constant. Don't throw yourself 100% into him.
Well, that's why I
from
said
the very beginning.
there's two different ways to looking at that, because she can say that all day long, but
if the guy's gonna look at it
if the
differently.
guy
Yeah.
feels a certain way
or doesn't,
then you're like kind of screwing yourself in a way.
But I think you're screwing yourself anyway, though. If he doesn't like you, then you can pour yourself 100,000% into him, and he's still gonna walk away.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's still gonna turn away, and
Look,
he's gonna be like, "You're too needy."
Relationships are very
ridiculous.
they're hit or miss. Let's just be honest, especially nowadays, because people find it so easy to leave other people that it's very few and far between that you'll find someone that wants to have a long, loving relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays, you don't find that very often because people are replaceable. Just like jobs are replaceable, people are replaceable.
Yeah.
Oh, this didn't work out. It is what it is.
Bye.
Moving on to the next one.
Well, especially in this day and age.
Yeah. No one cares about people's feelings anymore.
No, they don't.
And if you think I'm wrong, comment and tell us that I'm wrong.
Please do comment. Anyway.
Because I'll give you a list.
Or tell us if you think she's right. All right. Have a life that excites you. Focus on your glow up. Do things that make you happy. Focus on yourself. Don't just constantly be sitting around waiting for his text. And don't text back the minute that he texts you. I mean,
I agree with that statement.
yeah. If you have, oh, this is a good one actually. And I don't know if it's on here or not, but no, I don't think it's on here. If you have plans with your girlfriends that weekend and then all of a sudden he texts you and he's like, are you available Saturday? Nope, I'm sorry.
Go with your girlfriends.
Yep, I'm sorry, I'm not available, because you already have your plans. Stick to your plans. Stick to your life. Now, you want to see him. So I have plans on Saturday, but maybe we can hang out on Sunday or Monday. We're like, okay, whatever.
Sorry,
and it's
this
not
was so last minute.
Again, it's not a game. It's what it is don't prioritize him before he is your priority. Whoa, that's a good one, Yvette. That's a quote from Yvette, okay? Do not prioritize him or her until they are a priority in your life. So don't give too much in the beginning.
What do they say? Don't give the milk before something with the cow. What is it?
Don't give the milk away. No, why would he want to buy the cow if he can get the milk for free?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do the girls say? Don't. Why would she want to buy the pig when she can get the sausage for free? I heard that one. I was like, well, okay then.
But I mean, they're silly analogies, but they're factual.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. Okay, the next one is move like you know you're the prize. Confidence is super sexy and attractive. No begging and no over explaining. That was one of our slice of advice back in season 2. Mm-hmm. Don't over explain.
When you over explain, you're arguing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
People switch it off. They don't want to hear you explaining because in their head, they know what happened. They know what's right in their head. Give them some time and then come back to it.
And then come back to it. Yep. Yeah. Move like you know you're the prize. Yep. I do agree with that, though. Confidence is super sexy and attractive, I feel.
Yeah, for sure.
In both men and women, but don't let it be arrogant, okay? Because again,
be humble with it.
We're not playing games. We're not saying play games. No. Do not play games. That you're talking about another person. You play with their emotions.
There's a difference no need for it. Between confidence and being conceited.
Let him put in effort. If he wants to, he will. Let him text first. Let him plan the dates. Don't mother him. I like that one. Don't mother him. Do not mother him. And don't take the lead. Don't take the lead.
I like when a man takes the lead because it puts me in my feminine energy, and I can be a girly girl and just truly sit there and enjoy everything that we're doing together.
Absolutely. Keep it light, fun, and flirty. Tease him. Playfully challenge him. Be the little girl you once were in front of him. Not bratty or immature. Just your, like you said, in your feminine. Be your feminine little girly self. Don't be a child. There's a difference. Like, don't take these too literal, okay? I'm trying to say these because when I read them, that's not how I interpreted them. So, but as I'm reading them out loud, I feel like some girls are gonna be like, oh wait, I'm supposed to do this. Like, no, I mean, not that you're gonna do what I say. What I'm saying is, don't misinterpret what we're trying to say. And men, don't come at us because we're trying to give advice here, because it actually works for men too. Don't prioritize her until she is a priority.
Yeah, 1000%.
But do take the lead, and if you are interested in her, then yes. There's a cadence to dating.
There always has been.
To it's called courting. There's a cadence to like showing interest and then making actionable movements towards dating, towards letting her know that you are like really, really interested in her, and then allowing her to sit in her feminine. And a real man will understand what that means. Like, yes, if I want her, I'm gonna go and get her. Because that's what men do. Again, they like challenges. So, they're going to go and get her no matter what. Not in a creepy way. Why do I feel like I have to explain?
There you go.
Because
was that said. One of your... Didn't you just talk about over-explaining stuff?
There I go again. I know. But I am an over-explainer. I really am. I'm working on it, guys. Sorry. Okay. Know when to walk away. Know when to walk away. If he's lazy or inconsistent, if he's not trying, if he puts the pressure on you to plan dates. He only texts you when you text him, then he's just not that into you. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Definitely know when to walk away. If you're putting in too much effort and he isn't, and you're allowing that bad behavior, then that sets the tone for the rest of the relationship. Why would you want to be with somebody like that? What do you think, Joe?
I must say that I agree with you. I mean, that's just straight up truth. I mean, girl, that was flawless.
Okay, so we have come to excuse me, our wow. It's a little spicy. Our words of wisdom, and I have them for us today. Change is often a silent inside job that requires patience and courage. The courage to be yourself, the courage to resist negativity, the courage to go beyond your boundaries, and the courage to take responsibility for your own life. And I'm not even going to say the name who that is, but anyway, it was great. I thought it was good when
that was deep.
Yeah. It's an inside job. Change is an inside job.
It is. And you have to want to change. People don't understand that as we get older, we change. Our seasons change. There's nothing wrong with change. If anything, change is going to make you better. It's not going to set you back. It's going to help you grow.
I agree. So I love that. Well said. I want to thank everybody again for joining us on this episode of Chats con Sabor. And for all the episodes that you've been watching up to this point, we are having a lot of fun and going to bring you some more special guests. So stay tuned. And again, welcome to season 3. Adios, amigos.
Adios.